Let's look at the other side of the coin. As someone who receives a lot of inbound email from podcast agencies, provide me with some advice on how I can tell whether the agency has done its homework, whether it knows my podcast and has at least listened to one episode, whether it understands the focus, and whether the guest is a good fit. In many cases, it seems like they're sending out a template and they simply put my name in the box and hope that the one size fits all outreach strategy is going to work. I can tell immediately that this is the case. I can tell that they really haven't put their homework in. And the reality is, and this is a sad reality for their clients, is I'll hit delete extremely quickly. I won't even bother to respond to them and say, sorry, it's not a good fit, because it just takes time and they haven't done enough effort for me to actually put an effort in return. What are your thoughts on how a podcaster can tell if an agency knows its stuff and it's serving its clients in the right way?
I think, Mark, you as a podcast host, you really have an unfair advantage because you have a very insider look into how these agencies actually craft their pitches because they literally land in your inbox. So if you are considering, speaking on podcasts, I would really look into the pitches that you've accepted. If you receive pitches from some agency that you regularly, accept guests from, then this agency would probably be the right fit to represent you as well because they go the extra mile. So they pass your immediate delete filter. You actually accept their guest on your show. So I think that that would be one thing that I would definitely look into if I would be you and I would consider appearing on podcasts. Now, most brands, most marketers don't have this luxury. They don't run a podcast, so they cannot make a decision this way. So I would really just set up a few calls with some agencies and I would ask some questions about how they handle their process. So for example, how many customers one account manager or booking agent handles. There are companies that one person can handle 15 customers. At Speak on Podcast, one person handles like 4 to 5 people maximum. And we designed it this way because we want to provide that experience that people actually feel that they're taking. Then I would also ask about how they evaluate podcast opportunities, how they evaluate if the podcast is the right fit. Very often, they might tell you one metric, like, for example, number of reviews on Apple Podcasts or global rank on listen notes. And if they tell you just one metric, run. It's impossible to evaluate a podcast opportunity based on just one metric. And we really look into tons of different metrics to say if this is a relevant opportunity for our customer. Hence, only 4 to 5 customers per booking agent because there are a lot of background work that needs to be done in order to find the best opportunities. Because we do such a good job when it comes to researching and drafting emails, we establish relationships with podcast hosts over time because they like our approach, and then it's easier to book interviews for the second time. So if the agency that you're considering can actually share some testimonials from podcast hosts that they're complementing their podcast outreach and so on, that's quite a good indicator that this agency is doing a good job as well.